Hi, this is a waxing video for eyebrow and lip, and we're going to take it from arrival at work. So we've arrived at work. We're going to have to prepare everything for our client who's going to be here shortly for an eyebrow wax and a lip wax. So as soon as you get to work, you got to wash your hands. So we're going to wet our hands, turn the water on and wet them. I find the liquid hand soap. Coin size amount. We're going to rub our hands together down to our wrist, our palms there. We're going to rub the back of our hands down to our wrist. We're going to rub between our fingers. We're going to wash our fingers, of course, and between our fingers and thumbs, we're going to wash the back of our fingers, our fingertips, and our nails on both hands, of course. We're going to wash our thumbs. We're going to do all of this, our wrist, for 20 to 30 seconds minimum. Rinse it all off. And then you're either going to get a clean towel or a disposable paper towel. Grab it, turn the water off with the towel, completely dry your hands, and then you are going to find your hand sanitizer, and it's 70% ethyl alcohol, and then you want to go through that step of hand sanitation, and that will finish your hand washing. So what we want to do is prepare the space for our client as well and set up our tray. So let's talk about how we do that. So when you make it to your room and space where you're working, you've got to disinfect that workstation, bed, and equipment using a disinfectant wipe, and you're going to follow manufacturer's instructions to do that. You want to check equipment to ensure that all of the devices that you're going to use are in safe working order and plugged into a working receptacle. You're going to gather clean supplies needed for this particular service, this waxing service on the face, and you're going to store it in a clean, closed container. Then you'll dispense products needed for the service, and I'll show the tray in a minute. I just want to go through this. So we're going to prepare disposable portion cups for each product with a portion of the product by either opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with a disposable portion cup or tray, or you can remove the product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula. Close the lid to the product and set the portion cup or tray on the tray. And then you will place disposable table paper on the disinfected bed to ensure that the wax does not fall onto the bed. So let's look at our tray that we have set up for our client that is coming for a eyebrow wax and a lip wax. I'm just going to turn the camera here so that you can see my tray, I hope. Put it down a little bit. And what I have with my disposable cups is I have my pre-epilation, my cleaner, my antiseptic. I've got my powder. I've got the wax, which would really be in a wax pot. It wouldn't be like this, but we're doing this video for school. I've got my remove after we put the wax on, and then I've got my post-epilation soothe down here. I have my tweezers. I have a bunch of cotton rounds. I have my wax strips in all different sizes, and I have my wax sticks in all different sizes based on what I'm doing. I have broken some of them. Ignore that because that's just for me to save wax sticks. I would never do that in salon. I've got my disposable gloves, paper towels, tissue. I've got a pair of small scissors if I need to cut some wax strips, Q-tips, just some extra things. But that's my tray that'll go around with me while I perform the service. So let's go back over here because we're going to greet our client and we're going to get her set up. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh. Don't fall down. Okay. Okay, so we met with a client and we welcomed them for their appointment. We brought them to the work area, and then we have to have our client consultation. So by the way, no question, when you meet your client, your hands are clean. So if you need to wash them again, you're going to wash them again, and you probably did that after you disinfected anyway because you had to take your gloves off. So you walked all up to meet her with clean hands. You're going to clean them again, but you're still going to walk up with clean hands. You greet your client and you escort him or her to the work area. You assess the client's current style, determine the client's preferences, and assess the client's needs. You'll assess the client's skin by performing a visual skin analysis to ensure that there is no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area that's to be worked on, or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on, infection or infestation. example of that would be lice, to prevent from safely performing the service. You're going to assess the client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours, consult on any known allergies. You'll consult with the client on any facial surgeries they've had within the last 3 months and if the client is under a physician's care. Assess if the client is prone to cold sores or fever blisters. Assess if the client has been using exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, or hydroquinone. Assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, like Botox or hyaluronic fillers. If the client is free from the above, the student can move forward with the procedure. So, we're going to get her set up, and then we're going to wash our hands. So let's do that. So she's laying down on the bed. We've got a towel down because we don't have that paper drape, but we want her to be comfortable. So that being said, we are going to have a roll towel here that I'm going to place under her neck. So I want her to have some support there and feel comfortable throughout the waxing process. I have an additional drape. I don't have a cape here, so I'm going to drape so that her clothes and skin are completely covered. If any wax was to fall, we would not get that on her. And then I'm going to put a hair net to cover up all of her hair, but you can do a headband, etc. We want to make sure that all of that is covered for the service as well. We don't want any wax on that. So she's ready. And so what we have to do now is wash our hands, because you're going to do that no matter what, and you're going to wash and then apply gloves, because this service is always done with gloves on. So we wet our hands again, and we get that liquid hand soap into our hands, and we're washing our palms down to the wrist, the back of the hands down to the wrist. We're washing those fingers, of course, the back of the fingers between them, between the fingers and the thumb. We're going to wash our fingertips and nails. We are going to wash our thumbs. We are going to wash our wrists. All of this minimum 20 to 30 seconds. Rinse thoroughly. When you have rinsed, you're going to reach for a clean towel or disposable paper towel to turn the water off, and then dry your hands completely. Discard of those paper towels, and then you will finish your hand wash step with hand sanitizer, which is that 70% ethyl alcohol. And then go ahead and do your hand sanitizer. Give yourself a second here, because you want those hands completely dry, because you will not be able to put on your disposable gloves if your hands are wet at all. So just give yourself a second. Okay, so I've got my disposable gloves. I'm going to put them on here before I even go into the procedure to assess anything or clean anything. Okay. Perfect. So what we've got now is to go in, and we're going to start with the brow first. And so we're going to assess the hair growth at the brow. And we're just basically looking to see, what style she's going for. You want to see how much hair needs to be removed. You want to see how that hair pattern is growing. And figure out what your plan is. So we know that everything looks really good. She's just someone who likes a very specific brow shape. So with this particular client, I am going to be using a little bit of wax and doing a lot more tweezing. So I don't have as much control with the wax as I would tweezers. So we're going to remove all the excess hairs that are easy to get. And then for me to do like a stronger arch, which is what she wants, I'm going to use my tweezers. And keeping in mind how the hair grows out and down, and in the middle it grows down for this particular client. So what we're going to do is do our pre-epilation, of course. First, we're going to remove any residue, makeup, oil, etc. that she might have in this brow area. Super important to take the time to do this. Not only do you want to prepare the skin that you're going to wax, but you want to protect it too. So what we're doing now is that, and we're also applying this in the direction of the hair growth. That's important too, not away from, within the direction. So we've got all of that, and we're going to do one brow at a time, but we're going to go ahead and do the beginning get ready all together. And that looks great. So that being said, we're going to make sure that the area is like super duper dry. You never want to wax on wet skin at all. So we are going to use a little powder as well, and that's an additional step that really helps to protect your client's skin. It'll let the hair come out easier, and then her skin is protected, or his skin is protected. So we're taking a minute now with the powder. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Before you even think about going into wax with your client, the number one thing you need to do, is check the temperature of the wax on yourself. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. So if this client was a new client for lip, I'm going to do it again for the lip. But because it's the same client, excuse me, I do not have to retest the temperature of the wax when I get down here, but I'm going to test it here and on myself, and then I know I can do the whole waxing. If within that exchange of clients throughout the day, I'm going to test it every single time. So that being said, I'm going over here and I'm getting my wax off my tray. As you know, that it would really be in a wax pot, and I'm going to test it on my forearm, the inside of my arm here, where the skin is delicate, so it definitely will be an accurate read of the temperature, no question. Like, this is a thinner skin, so it feels great. So I'm just throwing away my checker here, my wax checker, and I'm going to remove the wax off my arm, and I'm ready to start her procedure. So I'm going to start with this side of the face, eyebrow, and I am going to come in here and apply wax. And what I'm going to do is lay my wax stick down at about a 45-degree angle, let that wax come down a little bit, and then I'll be able to spread it out on my client. And I am applying the wax in the direction of the hair growth. She needs a little bit more on the down, so I'm going to get another little tiny stick to do that. And then I'm going to get my wax strip. Okay. And I'm going to apply pressure on the wax with my wax strip in the direction of the hair growth. And then I'm going to hold that skin nice and tight before I remove it, and then apply pressure with my finger. Once again, hold it tight, pull that skin, and then you can remove your wax strip. So you want to make sure you have a nice, strong, a nice firm skin before you remove the wax. So that was great. Let's go on top of the brow. Once again, that 45-degree angle before I apply. wax strips. Holding the skin a little firm, and press. Pressing within the same pattern of how the hair grows. Pulling the skin and pressure. Nice. And so that looks great. And remember, with this particular client, she wants me to do a lot of detail work with the tweezers. So what we're going to do now is the remove. I'm going to make sure that if there's any wax residue at this point, we're going to take it off. And I'm going to find my tweezers, and that's where I'm going to spend a little bit of time today to shape her brow. So I've gotten all those wild hairs out of the way, and now what I'm going to do here is just tweeze a little bit to work that actual shape. So I can control the line a little bit more with tweezers. She has a nice big, thick brow, so it allows me to do that. Detail. And every client's different, and what they are going to want is different, but you have to show them how to balance it out, and you did all of that in the client consultation. And when you remove the hair with your tweezer, you are going the direction that the hair grows. You're going to pull it out in the same direction that it grows, and it will come completely out instead of breaking off. Like, don't fight it, go with it. And then when you're done, of course, you can teach her how to fill her brows in as well, because that's another added value of this service with the brow wax. You can teach her how to shape with, or enhance with shadow or pencil or something. Okay, so that looks great. So we're going to move on to the other eyebrow, and we'll completely soothe at the end. So we're going to go over here with our goodies, and we're going to wax this side. Okay, excuse me, and then we're going to find our wax strip and applying that pressure in the growth of the hair, same way the hair grows. Tight and pressure. Tight, remove, pressure. Now we're going to go on top of the brow. And we've got some out and we've got some down. we're going to hold everything tight, and we are going to remove and pressure. And we're going to hold it tight again, and remove and pressure. Good. And then we are going to take a minute here and remove any wax so that I can do that detail work for her that she really wants with the tweezers. So I'm giving that a little bit more time today. Okay. Tweezers cutting around, taking my time to go in and really make them look similar and the way that she likes them to look, but so they're complementary to her face. The good news is she has a little big thick brow, like I said, and she knows what she likes, and what she likes is correct. And then if we get the shape right, they're so thick she might even not need to fill them in anyway. But sometimes people have little holes and stuff, and they like to fill it in with a pencil or a powder or a brow gel or something like that. We can show her that too. Excellent. Now we have one little area left of the brow that needs to be addressed, and that's between the brow and that hair goes down. So we are going to apply the wax there. And she's going to love them because they look amazing. We're going to find our little strip, apply that pressure, and hold it nice, the area nice, tight, and remove it. Okay. There, so we need our little remove. We're going to make sure there's no wax residue right here so we can do the final tweeze on this brow. Once again, applying in the direction of the hair growth. And I've got my tweezers and I've got my pad here, and we've done a really, really good job with shaping everything else. It's just these couple little baby hairs here that we need to make sure that we get for the final, so she's super happy with her results. And it looks really, really awesome. Brow is done. So before we can move on to the lip, we have that final step of soothing this area that we want to make sure we do. So keep it calm. Post-epilation, that just, once again, everything just ties together. Looks super nice. So good. So, so good. Just what she's going to want to see when we finish her lip. Really love it. Once again, I'm going with the direction of the hair growth. Okay, so don't have to test the wax again because it's the same client, but moving down to the lip, I do need to assess the way the hair grows. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go look, and because she has this beautiful hair, a lot of thick brow, a lot of lip hair, so we're going to make sure we get that all off. So her lip hair is kind of growing out and down. There's some down here on the side. And in the middle right there, it's kind of looks like it's going out, forward, and down. So what we need to do is prepare this area to take the wax. So we are going to do our pre-epilation of course, because we want to make sure there's no moisturizer, SPF, makeup, all the things. So taking a minute, just like we did with the brows, to prepare the area that's to be waxed. And remember, once again, not only is it preparing, but it's protecting the skin, so you never want to leave this step out. And of course, we want that area super duper dry, so we are going to be applying that powder as well. So after we've done that, I'm going to give it a little powder here. Once again, not only is it preparing the area, it's protecting the skin before you actually wax. And we are sure going to take the time to do all of that. like I said, don't have to retest the wax. I can just go in there and wax. I'm going to start on this side because I know the temperature's okay for the client because we've been waxing for the brow. So we're just going to get started by applying wax. And I'm going with the direction of the hair growth. So I'm going out. And of course there is a little hair that grows down. Gonna get that some of that wax there too. So we switch the direction of the application based on how the hair would grow. And then we're gonna get our wax strip, and I'm gonna apply pressure once I put the strip down in the direction of the hair growth. And then I'm gonna hold the skin nice and taut before I remove it, and pressure. And I'm gonna get another strip here for the little down area because it would be removed differently because the hair grows differently. And I'm gonna hold the skin tight, and I'm gonna remove and pressure. And I'm going to keep working because this is a small area. I'm not going to stop and tweeze until the lip is completely done because it's not like two eyebrows. It's a much smaller area. So we're going to do this side, and then we'll do the middle, and then we can finish up. Plus it's painful, and you really want to get it over with for the client. Some people, obviously, the more they do it, the less they feel it, but I like to move forward and move on. I've certainly had this service done a million times, and the faster that it's over with, the better, the happier I am, for sure. So, make sure the wax is where we need it to be before, because we're not going to do a second wax. You're only going to ever wax, soft wax one time. You're not going to go back on top with another wax strip and more wax. Pressing within the wet growth of the hair. Same direction as the hair growth, I mean. Skin tight, pull, and pressure. And let's remove the other one. The little guy right here, the little down. Pressure. Hold, and press. And then we need to go to the center of the lip, last part of the lip to finish up. We're going to be working the application downward because that's how the hair grows. And you want to make sure you're getting that center, you're getting the little sides here and up to the nose. That's where I feel like it's one of the hardest places because the skin goes down in the middle to remove the hair. One of the hardest places on the lip. It's right there in the middle. Pressure. Down. Holding that skin tight. Remove. Okay, and then we are going to take a minute to remove any excess wax before we get in there with our tweezers, but I feel like her lip, we're not going to have to tweeze that much. I feel like that wax was all we needed. We needed more tweeze with the brow. We're not going to need much tweeze with the lip. Excellent. No wax residue. And tweezers, cotton round. Perfect. Oh yeah, you barely have anything to tweeze here. That's nice. Yeah, looks great. Wax did great. Perfect, we're done. So what we have to do really now is we're gonna do that soothe step. So let's get our nice little post-appellation. Let's calm everything down. Let's make her feel great. Let's just give a little soothe. We have the other side to do. And she will be thrilled. Nice. So you have finished. I want you to just grab that mirror because you're going to want to see how amazing she looks. Oh my gosh, you've gotten rid of all of her hair. Look how perfect your brow shape is. I love it. she's going to want to book her next appointment. So you're going to take care of her, and you're going to do all of that, address, obviously, your client follow-up. So let's go ahead and take off our gloves. Because you're going to get her checked out. You're going to tell her how to take what to do on her face and how often she should come depending on what her goals are, etc. You're going to get all that stuff taken care of, and then you're going to go back because you have to address your work area and station. And when you're done, obviously, you're going to be able to take your implements and you're going to place them in a closed container labeled to be disinfected. And you're going to take your dirty laundry, like towel, cape, headband, anything like that. You put it in a closed container until it's laundered. And you are going to discard any single-use items that you need to. Make sure all of that's in the trash. And then you can identify a proper cleaning agent and read manufacturer's directions. Follow the manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage. And then you can wipe down your workstation and remove any debris that you might have, etc. And then you're going to identify disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, and fungicidal, EPA approved for use in a salon setting. Follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and or using the appropriate aerosol disinfectants. You will disinfect electrical equipment and store it in a clean area separate from other implements. And then because you use that disinfectant, you'll have had gloves on, so throw those gloves away. Then you need to wash your hands for your big finish. So wet your hands, liquid hand soap, palms together to the wrists, back of the palms, hands rather to the wrists, fingers, back of the fingers, between the fingers and the thumbs, fingertips and nails, wrists, totally clean. Wash your hands off, rinse them off. Grab a clean towel or a disposable paper towel, turn off the sink, dry everything thoroughly, and to finish your hand wash, find that 70% ethyl alcohol hand sanitizer, do it up, and then you have gotten to where you are ready for your next service or client. And that concludes the video on eyebrow wax and lip wax.